Hello there and welcome back. We are going to be doing a first impressions video using the brand new palette from Tarte. This is the High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. I just got this one in the mail. I asked you guys on IG if you wanted to see me do like a first impressions with this, and I got an overwhelming response of yes. So that is what we're going to be doing in today's video. So why don't we go ahead and get started. Actually the first palette that I purchased from Tarte in a while. I know Tarte kind of does a lot of the same sort of things, and for me this palette was very different and I was excited to test out the formula and just try something different from Tarte. So this one right here is called the High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. It's really fun packaging. It actually has like water in the packaging, which I think is super cute. This is a limited edition palette. It is $39. So on the inside you have this really fun bright palette. I think it's so beautiful. So on the inside of the palette, we have 12 different shades total. As you can see, there are those glitter toppers all across the palette. You also have 3 different matte shades in this palette, and then we also have shimmer shades in here as well. You also have a nice large mirror on here. I really like the mirror. It's very large, very nice. So this packaging, I will say, is a bit heavy. I think it's because of the water in here. So it is kind of a heavier palette. It's a little bit bulky when it comes to the size of it, but I don't really mind it. Aside from the weight, I think it's an okay size for the packaging. Again, $39. This is a limited edition palette. I purchased mine from the Tarte's website, but I know it is also available at Sephora, so I will have it linked down below for you. I do want to go ahead and swatch all of the shades so we can show you those first, and then we will get into testing it out on the eyes. Alright, and here are a swatch of all of these shades. So we have all of our glitter shade there on the end, then we have the shimmers and then the mattes there. So we have all of these shades right here. The glitter's actually swatched nice. When I was reading the description of this palette on Sephora's website, it was saying that you could just kind of top with the glitters. It didn't mention using a glitter glue, so I'm not exactly sure if these are going to have a little bit of adhere to them. They don't seem like it because when I'm touching them, they are coming off. So for this look, I'm probably going to try them with glitter glue, but I will continue to test out this palette too, and I'll kind of try it without so I can come back and let you guys know how it performs with and without glitter glue. But so far I think that the glitters are obviously really cool, but I'm pretty impressed with the rest of the swatches as well. It looks like a very vibrant palette, something different for Tarte. I know a lot of times they do a lot of neutral palettes, and I know a lot of people want to see color from them, so I was pretty impressed with the color selection in this palette. So let's go ahead and try it out on the eyes. So I'm going to first start with a lid primer. I'm just going to be using this mini one. This one is from Urban Decay. It's just one of the original potion primers. So I'm going to use this to prime my lids. I do not have my base makeup on, as you can tell. Anytime I work with glitter, I always like to actually do my eyes first in case we have any fallout and things like that. It can be a little hard with the glitters to get the fallout off your face if you do your base first. So I like to start with my eyes anytime I am working with glitter. I'm going to go into the shade Beach Therapy first, which is going to be this tan shade in the palette, and I'm going to work that shade into my crease. I'm going to be going in with this brush from Morphe. This one is their M441, and I'm just going to pick up this matte and work it into my crease. I did not set the base that I'm using. When I work with glitters, I also don't necessarily like to set my base because I feel like it doesn't really adhere as good. The glitter doesn't if you apply powder first. So I'm just going to go straight in with the color over top of the primer. I normally do like to set my lid, but when I'm working with glitter, I just prefer not to. It's been a while since I've used that Urban Decay primer as well, so I'm going to obviously, once I use this palette more, test it out with other primers too. But for now, we're just going to use it with that one. So this first shade seems to be blending out nicely. It is a little bit deeper than my skin tone, but it's not too deep, which is what I prefer when I go in with my first color. So I like when they have this sort of color in the palette. So I'm just going to blend this, like I said, into my crease, build it up a little bit. So once we've laid down that first color, I am now going to go into the salmon color. This one is called South Beach, and I'm going to work that on the same brush just into my crease as well, kind of just topping it. I am going to play with the blues in this palette. I'm going to play with the blue glitter, hopefully the silver glitter as well. I love blue eyeshadows. They're some of my favorites on my eyes, so I immediately was drawn to this one for the blues in the palette, and obviously that blue glitter shade is really pretty, but I loved the other blues that they had in the palette aside from the glitter as well, kind of like the deeper one. We have more of the pastel blue as well. So I was definitely loving the vibes of this palette, which had me drawn to it. I don't love so much that Tarte does a lot of limited edition palettes, just because I prefer things to stay permanent. I do understand though that they do a lot of limited edition, more so for like, I feel like they have some fun packaging that they do and things like that. But I just prefer things to stay permanent, so I don't always love it when things are limited edition. But so far, that shade actually looks nice on the lid as well. I am now going to build that up a tiny bit more with the Aloha Beaches. This one's a little bit more of a red shade. For that, I'm gonna grab a separate brush, just like a smaller blending brush, and kind of work this one a little bit more into the crease. So stamp it and then blend it out. And then next, we're gonna go in with the blue shades. I kind of just want to deepen this up a little bit. I love the matte shades that Tarte does have. I think that they blend out so easily. I really enjoy a lot of their matte shades. I don't always love their shimmers. It kind of just depends. What palette was it? The unicorn palette, or like the circle one. I can't even think of what it's called. Make Believe in Yourself palette. That one has the best shimmers. I absolutely love the shimmers in that palette. They're so foiled, really pretty. I still reach into that one all the time. But some of their other palettes, I just can go with or without the shimmers. They don't really do much for me. So I'll be curious to see how pigmented they are in this palette. So I'm just, again, working the shade all over the lid just to deepen it up a bit. All right, so now that we've got that on, I'm going to work my way into the blues. So for that, I'm actually going to go in with like a shader brush, this one here from Stilazzi, and I'm first going to work into the deep blue shade. And I want to apply this one kind of all over my lid, and I'm going to work some of the other blue shade as well, but for the most part, I want this to kind of be my base. And then we're going to go over it with the blue glitter in the palette as well. So I'm just going to work this shade all over my lid, completely all over my lid. And then I will, like I said, add a little bit of the other blue shade in and see how that one works, kind of layered with this one. So I am just not really being too precise with this yet, but once I get up here a little higher, I'm going to kind of carve it out a little bit more. But for now, this shade actually seems to be going on pretty well. Blues are a little bit hard sometimes to work with. I feel like they fade on my eyes for whatever reason, some of the blues that I've used. So I'll be curious to see how this one goes like throughout the day. If it, you know, stays as vibrant as when I first apply it, I'll kind of see when I'm using it throughout the day. But I'm kind of just packing this and then kind of rounding it out on the eye. All right, so now that we've got that blue on, I'm gonna go into the shade Dive In, which is a little bit of a deeper blue, and apply this one kind of to the outer edge and see how it kind of layers. I don't know if it's gonna look good over top of this other blue, if we can see it even, but I'm kind of just gonna deepen that up. I'm actually gonna do that all over the whole lid. Yeah, it's definitely adding a different vibe to it. So I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid, just kind of deepen it up a little bit. All right, so now that we've got that blue on, I want to go into the glitter. So we're going to be using the blue glitter in the palette. I am going to apply some glitter glue, like I said. So I just like this one from NYX. This is the NYX glitter glue. I'm going to just apply this one to my finger. I don't want to use too much, but I want to use enough. So I'm going to put a little bit on the other finger as well. And I'm just going to work this all over the lid. So all over top of this blue, I want the glitter to be everywhere. So I like using my finger for this. I just feel like it works best for me. But if you work better with a brush, obviously, you can use a brush as well. So I'm just applying this glitter glue all over the lid just to make it tacky so our glitter sticks. All right, so now I'm going to go right in with my finger, and I'm going to pick up the blue glitter. And I'm just, like I said, using it on my finger. And I'm going to tap this just onto the lid. That is really pretty. What a fun glitter shade. I don't know if I really have another like teal blue like this in a glitter. I think it's really pretty. I've been kind of loving the vibe of all these glitter palettes that have been coming out. I don't know if you guys are really into that, but I feel like it's just something different. I don't mind them. I know that kind of everyone's doing it right now, coming out with those glitter palettes, but I think it's something different, something fun. And I like the fact that this palette has other options in it as well. Like, you don't have to just use the glitters in the palette. You can make more wearable looks with the other shades in here as well. So I'm just tapping this glitter all over the lid. It seems to be sticking on pretty nicely. This is definitely a very intense look for sure. Like, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have a very bright eye. So I'm just tapping this again all over the lid. It seems to be sticking on pretty well. So as you can see, like, I'm getting a decent amount of fallout. We're getting glitter everywhere. So this is why I do my eyes first. So kind of here's where we're at with the eye look. I do want to apply some lashes and then also do the rest of my base. That way we can start with the lower lash line. I can do like an inner corner highlight and we can just try the rest of the shades on the lower lash line. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to apply my lashes and my entire base to my face and we'll be back to finish up. Alright, so I am back to finish off the eye look. I did my entire face. This lip gloss is a little sticky, so I hope lipstick doesn't show up on my teeth. But if you guys want any details on any of the items I did apply to my face, I will have them all linked down below. So I am ready to actually start doing the lower lash line, which I'm excited to tie this look all together. We're looking a little bare down there. So I'm going to go into the first shade we went into, which is Beach Therapy, and work that one onto my lower lash line. The glitter so far has been holding up. I haven't really seen it transfer down the rest of the time I was doing my makeup. So I think I kind of want to keep it soft down here. I don't really want to apply blue. So I'm going to go in with South Beach, which is the salmon color, and also work that into the lower lash line. Alright, now so for inner corner, I was thinking I wanted to go in with the silver glitter, but I think that would be too much. This look is already like so much. So I'm going to go into the shade actually Buried Gold, which is this more like champagne color right here, and actually apply that one to the inner corner instead. And I'm just going to apply a light amount of it just to kind of pop this inner corner a little bit. I actually really like the color of that shade. The next time I use this palette, I want to kind of put that all over the lid. I think that that would be really pretty. So I'm just going to build that up a little bit more. I'm also going to apply a little bit of that to the brow bone just to give a little highlight. Alright, so lastly, I'm just going to apply some lower lash mascara, and then that will complete this eye look. So this is going to be our completed eye look using the High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette from Tarte. I actually really like the way that this eye look came out. It's obviously not going to be for everyone. It's a very bright look. I don't mind this kind of makeup. I love doing something different. So for me, I'm kind of feeling like this mermaid vibe right now, and I'm kind of loving it. So I really enjoyed this palette so far. I thought the mattes performed really nicely, and I'm actually pretty impressed so far with the glitter. I will see how it holds up kind of throughout the day, and I'll actually pin a comment down below in the comment section throughout the day to see how the glitter holds up. I'll let you guys know down below, and I'm going to continue to test this one out. I'll come back in a few weeks with my final thoughts on it, but so far I think it's really pretty. It's something different. I don't know. I kind of love this palette. I love the way it's laid out, and I'm excited to actually just play with like the shimmers in here on their own without the glitter, play with the other glitter shades. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this first impressions video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. Leave your thoughts down below on this makeup look or on this palette. Is this something you guys are excited about? I would love to know. Give this one a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.